If you want to find more clients and make more money from illustration, I've got a bunch of tips here that are taken from my latest course, where I explore 6 of the most common frameworks I've observed illustrators using to make money from their art. I've given these 6 frameworks personas to make them a bit more memorable, and so you can see which persona or combination of personas will suit you best. There are no quick fixes in here. All these frameworks require active effort and long-term commitment. It's not going to find you clients overnight, but it will give you lots of ideas to try and practical tips on how you can get more illustration clients. There are also bonus chapters on emailing clients, self-promotion, and some other bits and bobs related to finding more clients. There's a link to the full 1-hour course in the description if you want to know more. Enjoy! The networker, as the name suggests, relies on a personal network. They start small, and maybe they find whatever work they can get in their hometown or local area. They look through the contacts in their phone or on social media, and they get in touch to say, hey, I'm an illustrator and I wondered if you know anyone who might be looking for some creative work doing. When you reach out to people you know, you are being vulnerable and asking for help. But you know what people love to do? They love to help people they know. Helping you makes them feel good. It's just a question. They can say no, but more than likely they will give it some serious thought and try their best to help you out and give you a leg up in your new career. Working locally with small businesses and friends and family is definitely not the end goal, but it's a start. If you can start making some money from creative work quickly, even if it's not the kind of work you dream of doing, it will help you stay motivated. It will keep your skills sharp, and it might mean you don't need to get a regular old boring day job to pay your bills. Do whatever freelance work you can get your hands on. Make some connections, see if some of the local shops or cafes want to sell your prints to. Become a big fish in a small pond and ask for referrals whenever you do a good job for someone and see if they'll write a testimonial for you. The grinder starts out by developing the first version of their illustration portfolio and getting it online quite quickly. Then their focus gradually moves towards researching clients. They find the companies that hire illustrators from all over the world. They find the names of the people who work at those companies, usually art directors or art buyers or maybe designers, people in the creative department basically. Then they find the contact details for those people with some online research, and they send them an introductory email. See the bonus lessons for more specific tips on emailing clients. Unlike the networker, who has all those warm referrals and recommendations, the grinder is doing cold outreach to people they don't know, so they're not likely to get many replies initially. They haven't built up any trust or familiarity with these clients yet. So these clients see an email from an illustrator who they don't know and have never heard of. The chances of them responding and hiring you is low at first, but the grinder has an organized system where they add all these potential clients to a spreadsheet or something like that, and they know the first couple of emails aren't likely to get a positive response, but they contact these clients every few months regularly to show them new work. Over time, this process builds up that familiarity. Maybe it's the 6th or the 7th email 2 years later where the art director sees your latest update and thinks, yeah, I've got a project for this artist. They remember your name and they've seen the progress you've made with your work. And finally, the stars align. You've built up some familiarity by showing up in their inbox regularly. Not so regularly that it's annoying, but not so infrequently that they forget who you are. Every 3 to 4 months is about right. Clearly, this is going to take some time, but the advantage of doing it this way is that the illustrator is seeking out the kinds of clients they actually want to work with, and they're not having to do different kinds of projects they're not really interested in. However, it does probably mean they'll need a day job to pay rent and pay bills while they're slowly establishing themselves with these clients. Consistency is essential with this method. If you only send an art director 1 or 2 emails, then give up, you'll never reach that point where you become familiar to the client and they begin to see evidence that you are dedicated and constantly improving. Instagram was the go-to platform for illustrators because it's image-based. They've sort of screwed us over a little bit in recent years, but you can still grow on there if you learn what works and what gets shared. You're not creating for the algorithm. You're creating content that real people will want to share with others, and that's how you grow. Typically, what gets shared is content that brings up feelings, good or bad, Facts, that's educational content, showing people what you do and how you do it. And fun. Fun stuff that people just want to share with their friends. 3 Fs. Feelings, facts, and fun. You've got to lean into that social aspect of it too and comment on other people's posts, ask them questions to encourage not only engagement, but also real relationships with people. Lift other people up with your generous likes and engagement, and be curious and friendly and free with your advice if people want it, and you'll become familiar to lots of new people as someone who is helpful, thoughtful, and generous with praise, and they'll reciprocate. Your goal as an illustrator with social media is primarily to find paid work. So you'll be posting a lot of your own work, of course, but 100% self-promotion isn't that interesting. You have to offer content that is useful, informative, fun, and that people want to share with their network. For an illustrator with a lot of followers, a large part of their following is going to be other illustrators, maybe 90% or more. So if you only share your own illustrations, sure, they might hit the like button, but there's no reason for them to share it with their network, meaning the interaction ends with that like. It's a dead end. If you can provide something in your content that your followers will want to share with their followers, and their followers may want to share with their followers, then it's potentially never ending, and your opportunity to grow is enormous. We're not posting on social media for the algorithm. We're posting for real people who will find our content valuable and shareable. If an artist doesn't have a big following yet and wants to sell their products, they can sell to other people's audiences. When you pay for a stall at an illustration fair, you pay for the access to the people who come to that fair. They may not know you when they enter, but hopefully by the time they leave, you've introduced yourself and added them to your mailing list and given them a business card or added them on social media and brought them into your own audience. Gaining access to other people's audiences is a great way to get started and a great way to grow. And the goal should be to convert those people over to your direct audience where you can reach them directly. An email newsletter is a great way to do that. Social is second best because it's pretty unreliable and you don't control how many of your followers actually see your work. An email is direct. So you start by building. Make a load of illustrations and share them online. Share your tips and techniques for painting or whatever your art style is. Brighten people's day and make them feel like they made the right choice in following you. When you've started making good progress in building a following, take notice of what that following is asking you about or complimenting you on. This will give you some good clues in what a good product might be. If they're not asking you questions, ask them what they want you to make. Maybe you could post a few of your popular images and do an online vote for which one people would like to see you make into a print for your shop. Then you've tested the idea and you'll know which one is likely to sell better. In that case, you've got the artwork ready to go, but let's say you want to make something that's going to require a lot more time and effort, something like a video course. The worst thing you can do is just shut yourself away for a couple of months and write the script, film the video, design the accompanying PDFs and edit it without getting some feedback from your audience first. If you do it that way, you risk launching the product that nobody has asked for and it turns out that nobody really wants it and it doesn't sell. I've done that and it's a real bummer, trust me. Even if the product is really good and you've worked really hard on it and you're really proud of it, if nobody wants it, it won't sell. So the builder gives a lot of value away for free initially, and in return builds an audience of supporters and fans. They can then sell products to those fans, and they know the products they're selling are what those people actually want. Look for freelance creatives who are in complementary fields. Web designers, graphic designers, app developers, animators and motion designers, marketing consultants, event planners, content creators, video editors, podcast producers, self-publishers, and writing groups. Rather than going for big companies like the Grinder is doing, the collaborator is reaching out to other freelancers and maybe some smaller studios. All these people could need an illustrator at some point in their day-to-day work, and if you can send a friendly greeting and make yourself known to them, you can become part of their professional network. Smaller web design or graphic design companies or freelancers will most likely need illustrations for their projects at some point in the future. You being in their network makes their lives easier and could potentially lead to paid work for you. When you're dealing with newer freelancers, they're still working their way up the ladder too, so projects might not be particularly well paid, but it is real work. App developers would be similar, but they may have even less creative skills if they're working on more of the back-end technical aspects. Apps need icons and header images and illustrations and all kinds of things, and maybe someone to do a bit of the front-end design work. You could be that person. Freelance marketing consultants pride themselves on their network. Often they'll be hired for a project and they'll be recommending creatives they know to their clients. If the client needs some landing page illustrations, they'll be happy to meet a skilled illustrator like you. Event planners could be weddings, or it could be more corporate events. Lots of local firms need visuals for presentations and invites and animations for award ceremonies and things like that too. So the collaborator is bringing people together and acting as a hub for other creatives. They'll be working on projects with people from their network, people they know and trust, and together they'll all be better off for having a professional network full of skilled creative people that they can recommend each other to. The last framework is potentially the hardest to achieve and will definitely take the longest. The specialist positions themselves as the go-to expert in a specific niche. Niching down doesn't mean you lose out. It means you can come to be the first choice for any client who wants what you do. But you've got to be really sure that's the thing you want to dedicate your life's work to. You become the expert in that thing, and clients come to you for your expertise, and they pay you exceptionally well because you're the only one who can do what you do to the level you do it at. That sounds pretty awesome to me, but it comes at a high price. Decades of hard work. So the specialist is special, outstanding, exceptional, and well respected. It takes a long time to get there, but you earn this title by dedicating yourself to a craft in such a single-minded way that no one else can hold a torch to you. Have you heard the 10,000 hour rule? That's how long it takes to be an expert in something. How good could you be after 50,000 hours?